Before we moved on with any other projects, I wanted to talk about the Select and Mask tool a little bit more in detail because I think it's a really great tool to be able to select and isolate complex objects. So one of those complex objects that has always traditionally been such a pain to isolate is curly hair, complex hair. These little small details a lot of times are really hard to isolate and select from a background object. So we have this image right here, and we're just going to go up to select and mask. So normally, you would take the pen tool, but can you imagine tracing over all this with the pen tool when you can easily just go up to select subject? So let's do select subject. It does a pretty good job, but let's just get some more refinement and go to select and mask. So this is the image. This is our selection right here. If we go all the way right on transparency, that is what our selection is. We haven't made a selection yet, so there's nothing. And this is the original image. So a lot of times I like to keep it somewhere in the middle so I can see what my selection is and a little bit of what the original image is. So let's say I wanted to select the hair. We can do select subject, click on refine hair, and I feel like that did a pretty good job. And click on OK. Really excellent job. It didn't select all the super fine details, but I can go back to my layering mask and do a layering mask, and there she is. She's isolated from the background. So I can go back to select and mask, and I can go down to clear selection. So now it goes back to no selection. And let's say I want to isolate just her hair. And I have the quick selection tool selected. I'm going to click and highlight her hair. And it automatically did her face by accident, so I can just do the subtract selection and see if I can't go back and do more details on that. There's also a brush tool that you can use where you can paint it on just like you would with a brush tool, just like we do with the layering mask where we paint on and remove a selection with black and we add to the selection with white. I can do refine hair option, see if that helps. Click on OK, and now I have her hair selected. I can go back to select and mask, and I can go down to clear selection, or I can use the brush tool just like we did with the other lesson where we painted on a new layer of color. You could do that here as well. Let me get a nice big brush. And they don't have like soft brush and hard brush like they do in the brushes, which I tend to like the method I do a little bit better. But for hardness, I like to soften it, and it'll kind of emulate this soft, round, feathered brush. And you could paint it on, just like that. So just kind of showing you different ways to select things. Let's say we want to just select her white top. We have the quick select tool selected, and we didn't want to add to the selection. And let's just click and hold. It looks like it did a great job with just selecting the shirt. And I can always go all the way to the right to see what it selected and go all the way into the middle. So if I click and hold, get the strap, it's not really allowing me just to get the strap, but that's okay because we have other tools that we can use. So let's use the brush tool, make it smaller, and just draw on the strap selection. And I could feather it a little bit if I feel like my selection wasn't perfect. Sometimes just slight feather will help. Click OK, and now I've selected the top. I just wanted to show you a little bit more details on select and mask. I didn't want to leave that out as an option for helping you mask things and isolate objects from photos.